So now we are going to do our connections, but first I'm going to select my view controller that was created by default for us and hit delete on it, and I'm going to say move to trash. So we are going to create a new view controller here. So select the app delegate, Command N, and this is going to be a Cocoa Touch class under iOS. Click next, and it's going to be subclass of UI view controller, and the name I'm going to call this welcome view controller. Make sure it's Swift and no need to create an XIB file. Click next, and I'm going to save this in my folder, project folder here. So we have created the welcome view, but it's not linked to anything, so I'm going to go to my storyboard, select my view here on top, make sure it's blue guy outline here, and go to under class, and I'm going to call this welcome view controller. Hit enter, make sure it stays there. Alright, so now this view controller is linked to our file here. Next, we are going to just remove all this code, which is not necessary, and we are going to do the connections here. So let's go to our storyboard. I'm going to open an assistant editor here, which will show me my view here. Let's make some space, and here we can set this to, instead of manually, we want to set this to automatic. So once it's automatic, Xcode automatically checks which view controller is allocated for this view and displays next to it. So we are going to do our connections. We have 3 text fields, 2 buttons, and our gesture recognizer. So let's start from top. We are not going to connect our welcome to chat text here because we are not going to manipulate this in any way. So select the text field, hit Control, and let's drag it to our view here. Make sure it's outlet, and I'm going to call this email text field. I like to call my views whatever they are, so it's extremely clear to anyone. Whoever opens this code, they will understand what this variable is for. Then we do same thing for password. And finally for the repeat password. So we have our 3 text fields, and then I'm going to put a mark here, and I'm going to call this IB actions. Here a mark is just basically a breakpoint here. When we are going to search through our code, it's very easy to find all the actions and all the variables, etc. I'm just making the code clean and easy to read later on. So we're going to create 2 functions for each button. So let's connect our login. Again, click option, click control and drag it here. But this time, instead of outlet, we are going to create an action. So I'm going to call this login button pressed. And the next one will be our register. Again, click control drag, make it action, and call this register button pressed. Okay, the second function, and the third one is going to be our tap gesture recognizer. Because we cannot see it here, I'm going to select it on the left panel here. Let's drag it here. Again, I'm going to put this action and say background tap. Okay, so this is our third function. We are finished with connecting everything, so I'm going to close my assistant editor there and move to my code here. So let's start from the top. For our login button pressed, first we are going to write our functions here, what's going on every time we press our buttons. For now I'm going to say print, and I'm going to print like login, and let's copy and paste this and call this register, and here we say dismiss. And let's run our application and make sure our buttons are working correctly. So I click on login. You can see here I have on my console printed out login. Then I click on register, again prints out, and if I click on anywhere on the background it says dismiss. So everything is working nicely.